Welcome to the show, Meeting Interesting People. Today my guest, Linda McJanett. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Our viewers just were watching the fragments of the, what was a concert or?
I belong to the Royal Scottish Country Dance Society, the Boston branch of that international organization. And it's something I do for fun, a passion really, and a community that I belong to. And we do a concert once a year at the Museum of our National Heritage in Lexington, and what we're showing was clips both of country dancing, which is what normal people do, and Highland dancing, which was the second clip, which is obviously somewhat more difficult and precise.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I definitely didn't dance that yet.
No, well, when I started country dancing, I then did start Highland and did do it for a while. I started when I was 40 years old. Most people start when they're 4 years old, so I was a little behind, and it was fun. But you know, I'm too old for Highland now, so I do Scottish country dancing, which was the first clip
where we're watching.
where you have a partner
yeah,
and you're
and
dancing
I know
together.
You want to mention this just
oh, absolutely.
In context of that show.
Sure. Our concert this year is November 13th at the same venue, a Museum of our National Heritage in Lexington. And we always have wonderful guest musicians. You saw them in the background on the clip there. This year it's Laura Risk, who's a fiddler, and Neil Pearlman, who's actually the son, second generation, of a very well-known fiddler from the New England area. He's a pianist and other things. And we'll be dancing. I was in the first clip in my red kilt.
Yeah, you were there first.
You can see the kilt here, the tartan here. So we're gearing up for that now. We rehearse every Sunday night for several hours, the dancing parts.
Yeah, and we need to tell our Medford viewers specifically that the society has classes
exactly
on Monday night.
Our flagship class is in Medford at Spring Step in the new cultural dance building, which was actually supported and built by one of our members.
Wow.
She has the wherewithal to endow such a wonderful building, and I know that Mayor Mann, is it McMahon? You're mayor of Medford?
No, Mr. McGlynn.
McGlynn, thank you. A good Scottish name.
Yeah.
Was very supportive, so we've been thrilled to have a new home with wonderful sprung wood floors. As you can see, this kind of dancing, you're on your toes a lot.
Yes.
So it's very nice to have a floor that gives, not to be dancing on concrete, which is very painful.
Right.
So we have this new facility, and
yeah, and we need to tell that everyone is welcome, because
everyone is welcome.
It's classes for the beginners.
We have teachers who go through a whole teacher certification process, and they know that the whole purpose of this is to have fun and to have some exercise and meet new people and enjoy the music.
Plus it's live music.
Yes.
That's the biggest attraction.
We have live music every Monday night, and so it's Monday nights at Spring Step at 7:45 to warm up, which is important. And then there's a class for about an hour for the more advanced people in one hall and the newer people who can learn the basics.
And then I know you have balls too, because I never participated in.
You've never come to a ball.
I know, I never came to the ball.
Elena does this kind of dancing. She knows about it. Besides the concert,
right.
Our other activities over the year include Highland balls, where you dress up. This kind of dancing began in the 18th century, in the 1700s, and so people often. The men wear the kilt,
right,
and the fancy jackets, and the women wear ball gowns, sashes, and it looks, you kind of go back to the 18th century and when you go to a ball.
Right, so we have one of the clips we will be showing in the end that's from the balls?
No, I think it's from the end of the concert, but it shows the more, rather than the short kilts that the women were wearing here, which is more informal, it shows the long white ball gowns that were worn.
Yeah, and we know, you already said it, that you're not a professional dancer, but
no.
When I was watching it looked like you are a professional dancer.
Well,
so
it's been my love. I can't remember when I wasn't in a dance class, and to find something that you can do throughout your whole life with people who are also enjoying it, and to live music, the musicians we know, they're our friends. It's just a wonderful sense of creating and enjoying artistic and physical activities together.
So we need to tell our viewers that you, as a professor, published 2 books.
Well, this is my day job, right?
Yeah.
So I teach at Bentley University. My profession is to be a teacher of American English literature, primarily Shakespeare and other Elizabethan dramatists. And I love that very much. I have a background sort of in theater and dance, so it kind of goes both ways. The theater part took me to my profession, and the dance part is something I keep alive by doing Scottish country dancing.
So I know that we have some pictures you would like to show from the Spring Step class.
Right, and that will convince you. The dancing that we do in the show is obviously we've choreographed it, we do one dance and blend it into another, but in a normal class you just do one dance. Everyone gets a turn twice through, and it's much easier. So I have some still pictures that show what the Spring Step dance space looks like, and some very normal, ordinary people enjoying Monday night Scottish dancing.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the clips we were watching. So can you tell us the name of the dances? Because it seems like it's two different dances.
Right.
They both fast dances?
The first set, was a set of jigs. There are three kinds of dances in Scottish country dancing: jigs, reels, and strathspeys, which are slow and stately, sort of more like a minuet. And the jigs are really sort of hybrid because all the jigs are really Irish tunes. And there's a lot of crossover, as anyone can see, between Irish dancing and Scottish dancing of different kinds. So I know at least one of them was called, now I'm totally blanking on it. It was written by Janetta McCall, who's one of our favorite teachers.
Yes.
And it's the name is not going to come to me.
Well, that's just one of the fastest dances. So, and the Highlands.
And the Highland dances, we're doing a strathspey and a reel. And that is called chanteuse, which means old trousers.
Wow.
And it has meaning because, as you noticed, they were not wearing trousers.
Right.
They were wearing the kilt,
Right.
which became a big political symbol of Scottish independence in the 17th century and was banned by the English, who, of course, ruled Scotland and still do. And the motions of the feet were supposed to be trying to shake off the trousers. Trews is the same word as trousers, so that they could wear the kilt.
And it's a political way, too.
It's very political. The personal is political. The dress
see.
is political.
And now, just for a few moments, we're going back to your books. I'm looking right here, like Ottoman Turks, and it's actually dialogue in English plays. So what connections?
Well, in my professional life, I became interested in how lands east, let's say, of Greece are represented in English Renaissance drama, that is, plays and histories written around the time of Shakespeare. And of course it goes back to the ancients, because let's say Antony hooks up with Cleopatra of Egypt, and the Romans don't like this at all, and they say he's gone Asian and he's gone to be the barbarian and the alien, queen. And a lot of that same rhetoric, those same stereotypes get carried on through the ages. So I initially was interested in all of the Eastern portrayals, but that's too much to talk about in one book. And eventually it sort of narrowed down to the Ottoman Turks, partly because Islam is involved, and the whole East-West Christian Islamic so-called divide, I really want to question that. It's part of what I'm doing. But it's so timely now that to look at how the Turks, who were, of course, Muslims, are represented in Elizabethan English plays and histories is just really, really interesting. And the title features dialogue, partly because if you're a playwright, you have to make up words for the Sultan to say. And in histories, often, they are never quoted. So you might have the story in the history, but when you write a play based on that, you have to give the Sultan words to say. And often those words were very interesting. He would justify himself, he would show himself to be noble. So the notion of the stereotype of the cruel Turk, I always say compared to whom, because everybody was pretty cruel back then, gets questioned through the imagination of the playwrights. As far as
so we divided our information for two parts. So we will tell people who's interested to watch or go to participate in the Scottish country dance. They can come Spring Step every Monday at 7:45. And if someone interested of Linda's books, then they can go
you can Google my name and
Google
they'll come
by
up.
name Linda McJanett.
Right.
Well, thank you very much. And before I say I see you later to my viewers, I thank you again, and then we will watch some pictures and more dances. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.